Hello, I'm April Dimitri, and I will be performing an old Mexican folk tale that is about a character named Pedro or the Malas. And he's a very popular human trickster character in Latin American countries. And he originated from Spain, and it's been believed that his character was also inspired by a Native American folktale character named Coyote, which is coyote. This particular story is about a burro, which is donkey in English, and there have been 47 known variants of the story found, and this particular version has been retold by Josefa Sherman. The title of the story is Magical Burro. One day, Pedro was in a bit of a hurry. He had no horse, not even a burro, and the idea of trudging along on foot was not appealing. So, what should he do? An ordinary man would have shrugged his shoulders and walked wearily along, but Pedro was no ordinary man. He sat down and he started to carve a figure of a burro out of wood. Soon, a man from north of the Mexican border, a gringo, kind of an arrogant sort, started riding along, and Pedro sees this, and he quickly stands up and he pretends to mount his wooden burro. "What are you doing?" asked the gringo. "That's nothing but a piece of wood." "Hush!" Pedro cries. "You don't want to insult her. She may look like a piece of wood, but she's really a magical burro." "Is it now?" "Well, it's a pretty carving. I'll buy it from you." "Oh, no," cried Pedro. "I couldn't possibly sell her. She is one of a kind. I wouldn't be able to find another." "Well, what does this magical burro do?" "Well, once you get on her back, she turns into flesh and blood. And when you ask her to run, she runs so fast that not even the wind can catch her." "Wow. Okay, well, trade with me instead." Pedro pretends to think over it very carefully. "Well, I don't know. She is one of a kind, and I'm not sure." "Well, come on. You can trade with me. Come on, you can do it. I'll give you my horse for that burro." "Your horse? Okay, well, if I must trade, I must. But I better change my clothes with you as well. I don't want my burro to get frightened by your foreign garb." So the gringo happily agrees, and he dismounts his horse. He changes his clothes with Pedro, and Pedro quickly leaps onto the saddle of the horse and yells, "One warning," cries Pedro. "The magic only works until you wait for me to be out of sight before you try mounting." The gringo was like, "Okay, yes." He nods, he agrees, and he waits for Pedro to ride on his horse out of sight. Then the gringo comes up to the burro. He mounts the burro, and come on now, run, do something, come to life, do something. Well, the magical burro did do something. It remained a piece of carved wood. While Pedro, riding on his fine horse with his new clothes, got to where he needed to go with no trouble at all. So that is one of the many trickster tales of Pedro or de Malas. And perhaps maybe you'll hear another story about Pedro and his witty ways of getting out of a certain predicament. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and I hope to see you all again.